Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of, make sure the mics are on. Yeah, I've got to put the mic on there. Hey guys, good evening. Welcome to another edition of Blood Tribe Elections Live. I'm Vernon J. Chief Moon, and my co-host is Robin Littlebear. Say hi, Robin.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to episode 5.
Episode 5, that's awesome. Well, today's show is all about getting to know today's candidates running for chief and council, and a chance for them to share their platforms safely with you all due to COVID-19, especially after today's numbers. 902 cases in Alberta today, another record in hospitalizations at $240. So $240, just thinking about money. 240 cases. Sorry about that, guys. That's what happens when you're live. But yeah, that's heartbreaking. Doctors are saying that the hospital system can crash within 7 to 8 days, so we gotta practice safety measures with COVID-19. Robin, did you have an update in regards to the blood reserve numbers?
Yes, folks. Today, Blood Tribe Department of Health has reported that we are at 11 active cases, which is going down. The numbers have gone down. We've had in this past outbreak, we went up to 15 cases. So we're seeing the numbers come down. I really have to commend everyone, our frontline workers, our health department, and all of our members, because we're all in this together, and it's all of us that are keeping these numbers low. You know, it's unfortunate. We do have one person in hospital at this time. So everyone, send your prayers and good vibes for getting well soon. COVID is not a kind sickness. So the other thing, I'm pretty proud of health. Today they're reporting that they have completed 7,627 tests. That's very impressive. So folks, you know, I know we're getting tired. You know, we hear a lot about pandemic fatigue, and I know we're all feeling it. But we really need to remember to keep that bubble small. We need to remember to wear our masks and wash our hands. It's working. Our numbers are staying low. So let's give ourselves a round of applause, because we're doing okay. And we just got to hold this down for the next at least couple of weeks here, folks.
I know we have a lot of people saying that us younger people will be just fine if we get it, just to act normal. But we have to remember who we're doing this for. We're doing this for our elders and our immune compromised, and pretty much our whole community, right? Because it's pretty much Russian roulette. We just do not know who's going to get sick and who is not, right? So it's a perfect way to do that by having this show, bringing on the candidates to give them 7 to 10 minutes to talk about their platform, to educate you on what they're running for. Because in a leadership role, all of us, we have to help one another, and that's what we're doing here today. And we're on Facebook Live. If you want to watch this show later on, head over to YouTube. You can watch this on Shaw Cable. Just pick up your remote with the microphone and say Blood Tribe Elections Live YouTube. And then if you want to watch us on TELUS. What is it, Robin? 322 on TELUS?
322 on TELUS.
322 on TELUS. You can catch us on your box there and just type in Blood Tribe Elections 2020. All right. So tonight's guests are Richard Redcrow. He's number 61 on your ballot. Wave, Richard. He's in the top box right here. Next up, we have Lance Allen Tailfeathers. He's number 71. And there's Lance right there. And Arlene across the mountain is number 1 on the ballot. I was just giving her a rough time. It's like, too good that Arlene. Number 1 on the ballot. She used to be going out, number 1, number 1. Good job. All right. So we're going to start today's program. We'll turn it over to Robin to introduce our first guest. And good luck, candidates.
Yeah, we got lots of ones today. That's awesome. And Richard, you're our first speaker tonight. So welcome, Richard. So Richard, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and share your platform with the viewers? The floor is yours.
Okay, my name is Richard Redcrow, Blood Tribe in My spouse is Glenda Tallow. We've been together for 27 years, and together we have 7 children and 20 grandchildren. We've been community members for the past, all our lives, 50 years. I've lived in the community. I currently live in Moses Lake for the past 10 years, and I just like to give a thanks to our Blood Tribe Nation for allowing me to run for council. And I will also acknowledge Vernon, Chief Moon, and Robin Little Bear for allowing me to be a part of their forum. My political platform consists of the following. A voice in all tribal matters and decisions. We got to open our open door policy so that way our members can see what our leaders are putting on the table to improve our communities. We need to know what they're doing on our behalf. For how are they generating income for our people, and how are they generating job creations and educational programs for our people. Because it all comes from the top, I believe. We have to also find out is what they're doing for our homeless and our opiate crisis and our drug and alcohol issues that we have that's so rampant on the reserve. And our leaders have to implement solutions for our homelessness, our opiate crisis, and drug addictions. We have to continue. I commend my leaders. They've done a good job. Low battery.
Okay.
And look, it's lost power mode. Hello, am I still on?
Yeah, you're still on. Just plug
Okay,
it in
can I
while
be seen? Yeah, okay.
we can hear your
Sorry about
voice.
that.
There you go. You're back.
So my first issue is, we talked about open door policy. And my second issue is like adequate housing for all Blood Tribe members, so we can improve the quality of life that we have. We got to it all comes back to our homeless. We got to find solutions for our homeless. Where are they going to live? We need to have affordable housing for all community members. We also need to help those that live in the cities. We also help the ones that are transitioned to the cities, because, city life is not easy, and that's why we need adequate housing for our people on and off the reserve. And, when number three, we need job creation, equal opportunity for all Blood Tribe members, assistance for our small businesses, providing local, provincial, and federal grants for everyone. Our Blood Tribe needs to invest in our small businesses, and also, SS, they do a tremendous job, helping our peoples get jobs, giving them in programs. They got to continue that, because it all, for me, my platform is I'm chikim watapsi. I feel for the people that have nothing, the ones that are, I see them every day, and it's hard for them. And, also we need programs for our youth and our elders. We also need people with programs for our disabilities. We need to more, facilities and services for everyone that needs it. The ones with disabilities, we need riding programs. We need movie nights, craft nights, and that could also be for our elders and our youth. Because at the moment, it's with this COVID crisis that we have, we don't have anything. Even if we could stream them live and do, do what you guys are doing, so that way we can reach our people that are out there. And also number 5, we got to increase our manpower and resources for our Blood Tribe police, because they're kind of undermanned at the moment, or health services. So because they're the ones that are our frontline workers, the opiate crisis and all things that come with that. Also our EMS, we need to give them better ambulance and better, all around, more personnel, because some of them are overworked. They're very overworked with all of these 3 things, and that we can increase their monies, their manpower, and I think we'll be okay, because these are the ones that are fighting all our opiate and all our homeless. They're the ones that see it every day. So we need to kind of, help them. And also with, number 6, we need to have cultural programs to celebrate our history, and our identity, because we're losing a lot about our identity. We need to teach our young people, our language. We need to show them our history. We also have to, with that, even take it a little further. We need to have more like tourist attractions so we could tell people what we're all about, so they can know what we have, because we have a lot to offer, not only to our surrounding areas, but to the world. We have a lot to offer because we're a great nation. We got to keep being proud of who we are and continue, showing people what we're all about. And also, we got to support all our churches of worship, because, I'm a part of some of these churches, and people have come. We've encouraged them, and even some of them have come to our services, and some of them have gone to treatment. And today they lead a better life because we try and encourage them and support them and show them there's a better way. There's a better way. And, my mandate, if elected, is to implement policies that will better serve our community, and we also have to, for our homeless, we got to pick up, we got to do a lot more programs for them. And also, I'll get into that later. And, on November 19th, you have 12 votes. We all have 12 votes plus a vote for the chief. So, let's, give me your vote, and I'll provide a lot of services, and I'll be your voice, because it's time. It's time that we change, change for the better. I'm not saying it's bad, but for some people it is, and we have to look out for the ones that need us, and we need to fight for them. We need to fight for their rights, because as long as, when we signed the treaty in 1877, as long as the sun shines, the grass grows, and the river flows, we have those treaty rights. Let's fight for them, so our people will be better off, because, it hurts what's going on right now. So on November 19th and 26th, vote Richard Red Crow, and I'll be a great leader for you. And also, good luck to all the candidates that are running. I support, all your mandates. And I also, thank you to the Blood Tribe for allowing me to be here and, present my platform. And thank you, Vernon. Thank you, Robin. And good luck to everyone that's running. Thank you, and God bless.
Good job, Richard. Thank you very much. Okay, folks, our next speaker, number 1 on the ballot, is Arlene across the mountain. Arlene, tell us a little bit about yourself and share your platform with everyone. The floor is yours.
Arlene, you need to put on your mic there. Sorry. I'll send you a notification to put on your...
Yeah.
Okay, do you see a thing there to unmute on your screen?
Are we good?
Yeah, you're
me?
good.
You can hear me.
Perfect. Now we
Okay.
just take Richard's name off there.
Okay.
Go
I was
ahead.
expecting Lance to speak. Okay, oki. Nistun anugoki namin igitstagaki. For those of you that don't know who I am, my name is Arlene Across the Mountain. I'm also number 1 on your ballot sheet. Keep that in mind. My maiden name is Weaselhead. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about myself here. My parents are Randa Weaselhead and Les Heavyshields. I have 3 kids. I've worked with the Blood Tribe for the last 6.5 years. I was raised on the Blood Reserve. My grandmother, Sikudan, raised me right in the community of Standoff. And I just want to thank you guys for allowing me to share my platform tonight. And I know it's very good for us to be doing these kind of online virtual things, because we need to make sure that we keep our people safe. I guess I'll just jump right into my platform. One of the things that I wanted to speak to you guys about is the youth. I feel it's very, very important that us as leaders, we start implementing programs, supporting new programs, or supporting the programs that currently exist. We need to make sure that we're preventing our youth from getting into crime and addiction. I see it far too often. Like I said, I'm in the community. I see it on a daily, the stuff that our youth are getting into. Some of the programs that I thought might be beneficial for our youth is like cultural programs, empowerment programs, mentorship programs. Also, we have so many talented young individuals out there. We can focus on their talents. We have sports and computers and science and you name it. You know, those type of programs kind of need to be implemented so that way we can drive away their attention from crimes and addiction. I feel it's really important we focus on our youth. Get into my next topic, it's addictions. It's something that I'm so passionate about. I lost a couple of loved ones from addiction, so I want to make sure that we're helping our people the best that we can. We need to start breaking down the silos that exist and start working together as a community. We all have the same goal, and it's helping our community out and helping our people. You know, one thing that I think our reserve needs is an intervention program. A lot of the times when our families are trying to help the addicted, it's hard for them. They don't know where to start. We can implement an intervention program. We also, I feel like we need to get an aftercare program. That is something that I know the transition currently exists, but I believe we can lobby for funding for a new aftercare program that is going to, you know, really benefit the reserve. More to the business side of things. I know that our chief and council's one of the major roles and responsibilities as chief and council is to lobby for funding. Like that ultimately is the goal, like the role and responsibility of them is to lobby for funding. So I wanted to review policies. They probably need to be updated in a lot of areas. Updating policies are going to take away from micromanaging. I know that happens a lot of the time in our departments, micromanaging. We hire our employees, our staff, we hire them all in hopes that we're confident in them, right? So with the correct policies, updated policies, I think it needs to be done like on a yearly basis, especially like with COVID. There's new restrictions and, you know, guidelines that need to be put in there. Small businesses. I feel like we need to make sure that we're utilizing them within our department. A lot of our departments have vehicles. I'm sure all of our departments have vehicles. We have mechanics out there that we can be utilizing them. It's a really good idea to help our small businesses in proposal writing. I know it's very hard for our people to, you know, do those types of things, so I think it's really important that we support them that way. Like I said, it's very important that we as council, our main goal is helping our people. It's far too often we see so much negativity and frustrations out there, and I see it a lot. It's coming from a place where we need to change. You know, we need to make sure that we're working for the people. We're getting elected to work for you. I think it's very important that we live up to what we are elected for. With that, I don't think I have any more. Other than that, just on November the 19th and the 26th, vote for Arlene across the mountain.
Good job, Arlene. You were actually spot on with your time, so thank you very much. So next up, we move up to Lance Tailfeathers. He's going to be sharing his platform with us. Let's put a spotlight on you, Lance, there, and replace your name there. Lance, you're live. You may probably want to unmute yourself, Lance.
Can you hear me?
Good job. Yeah, you're live.
Yeah, just thanks Robin and Vernon for having us for this evening, and I'm really proud of the avenue that you guys have taken to have candidates accessible to our virtual media. But just as you know, most of my name is Lance Tailfeathers, born and raised on the Blood Reserve. I've traveled excessively, lived in other parts of the world, but realizing that home is where home is, and home is right here. So I'm running once again for the counselor position of the Blood Tribe. Previous terms have given me more experience in all aspects of our community, both on and off the reserve. My focus was to find understanding, cooperation, and resolution for our members, tribal administration, and also the relationship that we have with the federal and provincial governments. I just want to go over, I'm going to read from a piece of paper here because I just realized that going with 2 terms, I want to point out just some highlights that I've been a part of and I'm quite proud of. From the first term from 2012 to 2016, I was assigned the public service portfolio. This included participation and the creation of the core group and addiction strategy. And that was a very trying time and something that you don't anticipate when you're sitting at those council chairs, and these things just come out of the blue. But at that time, it was bringing community and departments together that introduced, for the first time ever on a First Nation, harm reduction. And that was in regard to saving lives and finding supports for members, of course, impacted by our opioid crisis. And that battle still continues. The strategy is in play, and then that's always ongoing. The other one is the implementation of our special social development enhancement delivery program, and that was to assist our members just getting those extra job skills so they're not so dependent on social development, and then just getting them ready for it so they have a meaningful life and they can get ready for employment and more added value to their living. We also had the revision of the Blood Tribe Administration HR policies. And this one here was inclusion of the elders within the province of Alberta. Many are familiar with our utilities program, but at that time it was just for on reserve. But we felt it was time to assist our elders off reserve. And then there's a reoccurring theme with the chief and council travel. So that time the finance committee I was assigned to towards the end of the term, we actually had a reduction of 100,000 to the overall chief and council travel budget. Also, the intervention and the stability of the Blood Tribe Agricultural Project, BTAP. So the Public Service Committee that I served on included Kainoa Children's Services, Social Development, FCSS, Housing, and Public Works. So then on to this last term, I was assigned to the Economics Development Portfolio. That included the successful referendum on our land designation. So now this gives the tribe the opportunity to partner with outside businesses. I know there's a lot of people saying Tim Hortons, well, I think Cards can beat us to the punch with that KFC, but now that can be a reality with those designated areas that we voted on. And also too, I'm very proud of the committee work that we did this past term, is that we actually implemented, we finalized our land department policies. And so again, that's, I'm quite proud of that. And still ongoing too is the exploration and the feasibility of the opportunities of the cannabis industry, since the nation and the rest of the world are making that legal. So how do we approach that with, our medicinal, recreational, and also to business opportunities? And of course, we had the evaluation of our communication, Blood Tribe Administration, communication processes, and the information technology. And this is really near to my heart because I have family and friends that are suffering on our streets in the cities. So we found resources and support for our community-driven projects in assisting our most vulnerable on the streets. And that includes the Sage Clan Patrol, Foundation of Hope, the Calgary Homeless Foundation, and the Alberta 760s organization, which I participate into from time to time because our members are very transient. They move from Cardston, Lethbridge, and of course, throughout the province of Alberta. The Economics Development Committee, our portfolio included the Blood Tribe Lands Department, the ECDEV Department, and of course the B-Test, which is our employment skills training program. So all that being said, this term, I've chosen the theme of continuing next steps as my platform. And one of these next steps will include securing improved Wi-Fi coverage on the Blood Reserve, because right now, as we're speaking now, this is our way of communication. And on the reserve, we don't have the best communication. So we need to have that, and that's in the works. And so, because our world is changing, it's really important that we have efficient communications and the technology along with it. In 2016, there was a total road rebuild capital project that's all done. It's just kind of sitting on the shelf. It was completed through our Public Works Department. So just some background here. The road's built from the tribe from the federal government in the 1960s. That was in my late father's time when he was the band manager. That the feds just didn't really care about building us quality roads. And so we've been challenging with that all the time. And of course, as this weekend is a prime example of that. And now that we're coming into a lot of money with our ongoing land claim settlements, this is a really good time to really just implement that avenue. This year, again, another thing that I'm proud of is with the completion of the E&E repatriation project, which is a buffalo. Hard work was put into a group of individuals to reintroducing the buffalo as a keystone animal and cultural identity. So the next steps would be the implementation, moving forward from a cultural herd. And then we secured some land there with the tribe, the ranch. And so I'm looking forward to that, to continuing with that, because this goes hand in hand with the Buffalo Treaty, who we are as part of that identity, of course, our sacred societies, and that's just really a part of who we are. And on the flip side, it's just like, it goes into tourism because people drive through Blackfoot country, and of course kids want to see the buffalo. So we need to really cash in on that. But also my vision includes a standalone elder senior center. I know we have a ceremonial building that's for elders, but this is from talking with some of our elders in the city of Lethbridge, that our elders are more comfortable to be in the community for more recreational, but kind of on their own. I know we have the multi-purpose building, but at the same time, they want to where they can gather for bingos and activities like that. So that's in my sights as well. Of course, continued support for our off-reserve programs, continued due diligence and understanding of agreements that are proposed by federal and provincial governments, because it's really important to have comprehension of what those agreements, to read the details, because there's always a kicker with when the feds are imposing any type of thing to our nation. And of course, the finalization of the big claim. We're recently in appeals process, and that's always ongoing, to really understand what the tribe has lost in all those years since signing of treaties. So it's important that we really pay attention to that one. Continued liaison with the city and town councils. Currently, I'm always in the mayor's office here in the city of Lethbridge. I reach out to our Calgary, affiliates and stuff like that. So really, that representation is needed there to advocate on behalf of our tribe. And of course, the completion of the existing community development plan, because that was started way back in 2004. There are some milestones in there, but because we're so vast now and we've really grown, it's really important that we create that sort of community. We talk about the parks, we talk about playgrounds, and all these access to, we have some of the pieces, but we just need to expand on them. The other thing I have down here, of course, is the responsibility. I totally understand the responsibility of where we're at as the nation, going into the world of what does the pandemic world look like. And so we really know the safety and all of the change of lifestyle. I know people say when COVID goes away, but the irony or it's really to put thought into, will it go away? And will something like COVID go away? Because our world's changing now. And then I want to just kind of quote the late Narcissus Blood through a video, because I keep on file some videos. And he said there was going to be a time when all these things that we take advantage of, or that we, those creature comforts that we have. And I was thinking maybe 20 years, or maybe in my children's time, or grandkids, but it's happening now. So we really need to move on that and adapt to that environment. And most importantly, the continued evaluation and importance of program policies. I know a lot of times people say, well, they're in draft form. And like I said, with the lands department, now we have existing policies that, as Arlene mentioned, that the staff can read from, and this is how it's mapped out, and that's a good start point. And again, with people who aren't really in agreement with some of those policies, well, they can be amended, but there is a process through that. But at least we have now we have an outline to assist members with our land processes. And I've been seeing out there, and I've run on the same campaign. With every campaign season, we read it, we see the intention of transparency, accountability, communication, and meaningful consultation with our community members. But with my experience, and this is my third attempt at being around the table, is that those who get elected, they're going to determine that consistency that we all agree when we get around that table, that we're going to not leave our pamphlets at the door and all of a sudden say, well, we'll work on this information, let's put it out there and stuff like that. So it's really important that it's the collective effort of the new chief and council. Let's all agree, we're going to communicate, and we're going to inform our members. I put it out there. A few of us around the table on council, I tend to stay on social media, and I understand the what we call the political bashing. And I find that this round, because of and I will quote, and I don't want to quote, but Trumpism has opened that up, that we can just go for the throat. And I understand the freedom of speech, but at the same time, being that responsible body, is that I try my best to respect the processes that we do have now, and sometimes I gotta say it to our members. And so social media, I've tried to be available on there, be objective and respective. And I know that a lot of our members don't have access to their cell phones, so they go to free Wi-Fi, go to McDonald's. So at least I get a lot of inboxes, and I just want to commend our membership out there that have been in communication with myself during this last term, is that just trying to ask, well, what's going on, or what can you fill me in with? And I will say, well, you can talk to this person or that. So we find resolutions, sometimes it's not what they're looking for, but we need to continue that. So I impress and I encourage all our candidates, when we get at that table, or whoever that is, please don't leave your pamphlets at the door. So in conclusion, I humbly ask for your continued support. I'm willing and ready to do this next steps that I've come to know and are passionate about. And so this coming voting polls, please, I ask for your continued support. So thank you.
Good job, Lance. That was very informative, that's for sure, especially the part of all of us working together. I had a few people inbox me about questions. This is not a forum, I just want to be clear. It's just basically a show that me and Robin put together where we can bring candidates online to give them the spotlight to share their platforms. If you guys want to ask them questions, feel free to inbox them, or I'm sure some of them will be doing lives. For the people watching this show, this is our show. We put it together. Anybody could do it. Just get on the live stream and put a show, bring some people, have your own forum. But like I said, we're just doing this because of COVID-19 to bring people, help our fellow candidates, because that's what we should be doing, is helping each other get the message out in regards to our platform. So this is not a forum. I just want to be clear here. We're just bringing candidates on to share their platform. And what Robin does is she just basically asks questions. She helps them highlight their platform in which they missed or they didn't touch on, but behind the scenes before going on there, that's what they were focused on. So she's just helping them highlight their platform. So I just want to make that clear. All right. So next, Robin is going to ask the question to the candidates about their platform to help them highlight their platform. Go ahead, Robin.
Okay, our first speaker is Richard. And Richard, you talked about being a voice for all tribal members and an open door policy. You talked about implementing solutions. That's what council needs to do. Adequate housing, solutions for our homeless, help those that transition to the cities. And you talked about equal opportunities. You talked about grants for small business. Social development needs to continue their programs, so that's support there. And that you really feel for those that have nothing. We see that certainly every day here. Programs, you talked about programs for elders, youth, and the disabled. I really liked your ideas about movie night, craft night, those kinds of things. Those were excellent ideas. And then you focused in on our EMS and giving more resources, certainly for manpower as well. You talked about cultural programs and using our culture in the tourism area. We certainly do have a lot to offer the world. You talked about support for all churches. Richard, my question to you today is, you talked about council really needing to I guess create and implement solutions, especially for homelessness. So Richard, if you are successful in this election and you are elected to chief and council, what kind of solutions do you see yourself supporting and implementing for homelessness?
Does my time start now?
Yes.
Okay, first of all, like everybody has a story. Some are better than others. Some are tragic stories. For me as a youngster, I experienced homelessness because I chose to, because of the lifestyle that I chose, and the things that I've done. So, that's why I feel for them. But, in the end, there's always hope, because I was able to come out of that situation, and now I'm fairly, good in what I'm doing. Work with our youth, work with our people, and work with any kind of group that asks me to help them. And with that, our homelessness, it starts with addictions. And once we get how we can combat this homelessness is, put them into detox centers when they choose to. Once they get to detox, they've admitted they need help, bring them into a treatment center. Once they're in that treatment center, you can allow them to have aftercare, lots of counseling. You got to build homes for them, create jobs, create education. And the homeless is not now that we have to be able to create care packages so we can give it out to them. We could have water bottles for them, socks and, snacks, granola bars and, fruit, whatever, and give them gift certificates for the fast foods. Give them hand wipes, give them masks, because our homeless, are the most vulnerable right now. We got to work with them. We got to love them. We got to understand why they're homeless. And, like a lot of people say, well, they're not homeless, but, they choose to be there, and we all understand that. So we got to work with them, show them there's a way. There's always a way to improve, our people, and as elected member, that's my goal, is to help these people, because I've been there and I love them and I care for them. And, with that, come again, come, on election day, let me be your leader, and I'll show you guys there's a lot of solutions that we have, and I'll implement a lot of solutions so that way we could move forward as a nation, be a proud nation again, because our homeless population seems to be growing by monthly. In my days, the homeless in Standoff, it was one or two. Moses Lake, same thing. Now you look, oh man, there's like dozens and dozens, and we need to focus on them. We need to help them. We need to show them there's ways. And with that, I believe, I'm the person to be there in the end, so I can show what I can do to help our people, not only the homeless, but everybody else that I talked about, the youth, the elders, and, especially our caregivers, like the ones that care for our elders, the ones that care for our youth, the ones that care for our children, because we need a future for our children, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren. We got to set examples. We got to implement strategies so that way we can show them there is a way, for everything. There's a positive light for everybody. That's why I said the ones that come to church are the homeless. So we feed them, we give them hope, we give them understanding, we give them, things that they can look forward to. Each week they come to our church, and we had it in Standoff, and they really look forward to it. Even to this day, they ask us, when is church? And because they feel safe. And there's like 3 or 4 that has come to our services, and they chose to go to treatment. And to this day, they're employed with the Blood Tribe. and, you know, they're having good lives. You know, they're having betterment of they got their children back. They got homes. You know, they're both full time, the wife and the husband, and sometimes it's single parents. You know, so like personally, we've gone. I mean, like, we've helped like 3 or 4, and you know, and that maybe we've helped more that we don't know about, but we got to continue because I love our homeless. You know, I help them every chance I get because, you know, I lived in a community and I still do. I see it every day, and you know, and there is hope for them, and there is a way that we can help them. So, as a council member, if we elected, you know, I'm gonna have our people understand we need to help our people because, you know, at one time, you know, like Lance stated, you know, we're all affected. We have family out there, we have friends, cousins, and you know, and some of our homeless, you know, there is hope. They have talents, but we need people to support them. And as a counselor, you know, I will support these people because most of them are my personal friends. You know, the ones that I grew up with, the ones that I went to school with, the ones, you know, but you know, they chose that life, and I chose mine. But in the end, you know, we got to help them, show them there's a way, there's a better life for them. And with that, you know, I can go on and on and on, but you know, we got to help them get educated, show them there's jobs. You know, we got to help them with their personal health, you know, their mental health, their physical beings, you know. And as a community, there's an old saying: it takes a village to raise a child. So let's do that, you know. And it takes a village to help a child. So let's all pull together, and we'll help everyone that needs to be helped. So with that, I think I've gone over our 2 minutes, but you know, thank you for allowing me to be here. And Robin, that's a great question because I've experienced homelessness, and that's why I know what it takes to overcome all of this. And I want to help my people. And I want to be behind them 110%. There's going to be not one person that's going to be forgotten, you know. And I'm going to make sure, you know, we put 110% in everything that we do when we're in council. We will be accountable. You know, we're going to ask our people. Us councilors are not going to change. It's the people that are going to change where we're at now. You know, it's the people that are going to come, and the people are going to be I'm going to be the voice for them because I'm going to listen to them. So we as a nation, we're proud. We have to listen to our people. You know, if they want changes, they're going to come to us, and we're going to have to implement. You know, imagine if we all work together, how prosperous we're going to be. Job creation, education. You know, get the homeless. You know, build up more buildings. You know, apartments for them. So that way, you know, there's not one person we see on the street anymore. Like the ones that here at the homeless shelter here in Moses Lake, they got these tiny homes. Why can't we have tiny homes for every community? And I commend Standoff. You know, they opened White Calf all for our homeless. You know, we got to do more of that, you know, for everybody. Even for a while, they had Moses Lake Gym for the homeless because the one here just wasn't big enough. So we need to have more housing for our homeless, more buildings and more treatment, more, you know, we got to counseling. We got to actually show them there's a better way, teach them, and support them 110%. We got to support them when they want to change. You know, they're going to tell us, and we're going to have to support them. And the ones I talked about, the things I talked about, we got to just be there for them. We need a certain group of people that are going to go out there and help them and get them into these programs, get them into the detox centers, like we have some already. So with that, you know, thank you. You know, thank you for listening to me, and you know, good luck to everybody. And when he comes, you know, again, you know, vote Richard Retro for a change because it's time. It's time. I'm going to listen, and I'll be your voice. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard. Good job.
Okay, folks, let's switch over to Arlene. Arlene, you can unmute your microphone. Arlene, you started off and you spoke about the youth. You talked about implementing new programs and supporting current programs, cultural empowerment programs, and focusing on youth talent. I thought that was excellent. Addictions, breaking down the silos, and we really need to work together. You talked about an intervention program My goodness, I think that's an awesome idea. I love that. Families really do need support at that point. You talked about an aftercare program, more of an enhancement to the transition society. And, you know, your next item was about lobbying for funding. That's the main role of council, right? We all know that we heard Richard, more, right? So that's kind of our front line. You talked about updating policies so that we're not micromanaging, we can govern and staff can do the administration. You talked about updating those policies and ensuring that they're there across the board. And you said our main role, council's main role, is to help our people. And you talked about focus and understanding in that area. Arlene, my question to you today, I really like that intervention program idea. I think it's such an excellent idea. I used to watch that show. I could see how it's worked. You know, and certainly our main role is to lobby for funding. So my question to you, Arlene, if you are successful in this next election and voted on to council, how can you expand and share with us how you see yourself lobbying for more funding for more addiction programs like the intervention program?
Yeah, thank you, Robin, for that question. It's actually a really good question. Like I said, the main role for council is to lobby for funding, and it's really important. Just most recently for the intervention program, Tyler Shandro, he's the health minister. He just talked about $121 million into addictions and mental health. And this is from the budget of 2020. He said that the upcoming budget, there's going to be another additional funding of $100 million. That is a good opportunity for the band to go after some of those funds. We really need to be innovative in the way that we lobby for funding. I believe our current funders are ISC, and so I believe FNDF funds us a little bit. We're going to have to be more creative because FNDF does get their money from the casino. So that might be a concern coming up here. So we're going to have to kind of look into things like that. We have to try and make sure that we're going to all tables to try and get it. Can't just focus on ISC. We got to try and figure all areas that we can get it. So I think those are some of the ways that we can lobby for the funding for those programs.
Good job, Arlene. Thank you. Okay, folks, we're going to move over to Lance. Lance, you shared a lot of things that were done in the past 2 terms, some really good information. Definitely good stuff. And then you got into your platform and you talked. Lance, you talked about securing better Wi-Fi and internet to our community, and connectivity, right? That's connecting our people. You talked about road infrastructure. Oh gosh, folks, I'm sorry.
It was only for a split second, so.
Okay.
I've heard most of the question.
Oh no, okay. I want to share a bit of what you said today. I thought those were excellent ideas, Lance. You talked about securing better Wi-Fi and internet for our community, so increasing connectivity. Mm-hmm. Talked about road infrastructure and the recent work that's been done into that study. Mm-hmm. You talked about the new claim coming up and how we can focus some of those dollars towards infrastructure. Mm-hmm. Talked about the ENE project and how we can expand that, from our culture to tourism. You talked about how your vision also includes a senior center. I really like that. And supporting our off-reserve population and reaching out to them. You talked about the community development plan, which is excellent, and the continued evaluation and development and implementation of policies, excellent. Collective effort to communicate. I really like that, and I so agree with you on that. Council needs to collectively do that. Respect the processes. You talked about respecting the processes that we have now. Certainly some good things. Lance, I know you've been really active in the communications and the IT committee. I know that's been one of your passions over the years. Lance, we certainly, through this pandemic, I think we've come to value connectivity, and we've come to realize just how important it is to keep our schools going, to keep our people able to work from home, and to even just have a talk show tonight to highlight our candidates.
Yeah.
So Lance, if you are successfully re-elected to council, how do you see yourself tackling connectivity, the infrastructure piece? And certainly infrastructure is a lot wider than that. It's actually a broad word, and there's a number of things in there. So how do you see yourself tackling some infrastructure in this next term?
Well, I'll break it down to two of the total road rebuild projects, and also the Wi-Fi, improving Wi-Fi connectivity. Because as we speak now, that's ongoing. There's been discussions and actually getting proposals from companies that provide that. So just a bit of math for where we're at with the connectivity is that out of our 1,400 homes, and to cover, we're one of the largest First Nations, is that we have, to cover that much, the estimate was 17 towers. But that's at a cost of $200,000 per tower. I think to equip the homes, and as we build more homes, about $1,000 per home. So that being said, you do a bit of math there, you're probably looking at a $3.4 million investment from the tribe. And I just got an email a couple of days ago that the government now is for First Nations, because of the COVID and the change of avenues that we do have in these changing times. That's in play, and so it's really important that we drive that home. That's why I mentioned continuing next steps. Next steps would actually looking at other companies getting their bids as far as what that looks like. So I'm really excited about that. I know people I read on social media. I don't have the best Wi-Fi out here. It also helps with our infrastructure, with our administration, because then again you have direct deposit. You have those internal IT solutions that we can bring up to speed. Of course, with distribution, I know there was talks of that. So on the big picture, as politicians, you have your technical people that are expert in that. So you need to really find that dollar value and to lobby for those dollars, which we have. And now it's just finalizing it and really getting out there and getting our community up to speed with the rest of the country, because when you drive by Thunder Chief, we always have these drop calls or and stuff like that. But really, seriousness of it, we're long overdue for a proper communication and IT technology. And the other thing there too, in this weekend was nothing new. This is always the challenge with our roads. It doesn't matter what the inclement weather is, and like I said before, in 2016, there's already a plan that's in place, and that has the price tag of about 24 million. So these claims that are coming down, we do have the resources, and it was well thought out. I looked at some of it, and some of the members that I have sat down with, I pull the pages out to where their areas are at, and it identifies what that road should really be, rather than just dirt with a bunch of like I said, I mentioned before, from the beginning, we didn't have the proper roads built. And so we got this Band-Aid solution, and we get frustration and our capacity. So with decent roads and a proper rebuild, I think that's a really good investment for the tribe. And of course, it's really up to the tribe how they see that investment, or it's long overdue. I talk to people and I see them in the food court or in the malls or in homes, and they say, I don't invest in the best vehicle because what's the use? Our buses, the maintenance, their costs, and everything like that. And even as we speak now, if we had somewhat proper roads, the snow, as much as it continues to, snow is snow, but it wouldn't be that challenging if we had proper roads. So again, that's really something I want to drive home with this term in the event of returning to council, because the plan is done. We've got money coming. It's just a matter of mobilizing it. And just to give you a bit of background for those of you familiar with Healy Bridge all the way to the turnoff to where our Sundance is held every year, that is actually supposed to be blacktop. Now there's debate. When that was first started, we need to go back to the table and put the province of Alberta to task because they didn't hold up their end. And so there's research more with that. But again, it's working with Public Works, our technical people. They're the experts. We're just there to support that and really rally and drive that home, and as a committee or as council, because everything, the pieces are there. We just have to put it together. And that's why I'm really passionate about the road rebuild. And of course, where I'm from, Bullhorn, as soon as it rains, it just turns into mud. And then we get these, we get, of course, you get the pictures and people make in light of our reserve roads. But from day one, they were never properly built. And so that's the thing I really want to get into and just get it done.
Yes, get it done. Awesome. Thank you. Well, folks, those are our 3 candidates tonight. Thank you, Richard, Arlene, and Lance for joining us tonight and sharing your campaign with our viewers tonight on episode 5. Certainly, fellow candidates, if you'd like to be on the show, you're welcome to join us. Inbox Vernon or myself. We'd love to schedule you on the show.
So if you like tonight's candidates' platforms, feel free to vote for them. Remember their name, remember their numbers. Richard Red Crow is number 61. If you want to vote for him, remember Richard Red Crow 61. If you want to vote for Lance Allen Tailfeathers, remember Lance Allen Tailfeathers, number 71 on the ballot. And if you like Arlene Across the Mountains platform and you want to vote for her, remember Arlene Across the Mountain, number 1 on the ballot. All right. So before we go, I'd like to thank tonight's candidates. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you, Arlene. You're right up here. Thank you, Lance. Thank you for taking time for us. And thank you, Richard. Thank you for joining us on tonight's show. We really appreciate it. We had 2 more that were supposed to be with us, but they didn't quite get home due to the road conditions, like Lance outlined with, when it rains, it snows, let's just say that. Well, when rain turns into snow, sorry. But yeah, we'll certainly do our best to bring everybody that missed their time to come on. Let's take Lance's name off there. And we'll reschedule them for Monday. We have quite a lot of people coming on, so we'll see how that goes for those that missed their broadcast. So we'll try and get them on as soon as possible. Well, that pretty much concludes our time. I'd like to thank you, Robin, for joining us. I really appreciate your feedback. So like I said, the purpose of this show is to bring candidates on, to share their platform with you. So for those that can't, look around for forums, this is just a show just highlighting the candidates for you guys, all right? So thank you guys. So you feel free to watch us again on Facebook, or you can watch us on YouTube, on our YouTube channel. It is TELUS322, and on, and in Shaw, just pick up the remote and say Blood Tribe Elections YouTube, and it should load on your TV there. Well, that concludes tonight's show. I really appreciate everyone for tuning in tonight and listening to our candidates. I'm sure you really appreciate it. And to everyone else, please stay safe and look out for one another. Have a good night, guys.
Good evening, everyone. Stay safe.